We've all gone through those times, and maybe you're here right now when it feels like you are getting challenged and tested, when you are on this journey of evolving and up leveling, like often right before your manifestation arrives on the journey towards it, when you're in that void, that space in between who you've been. Like, let's call that the old self or the old identity, even though time isn't linear, but there's a sense that you're in between that version of you and who you are becoming. Why does the universe sometimes feel like it is throwing storms in our path before clarity appears? Why the tests? Why does it test us? Why can't it all just be easy, right? When we get what we want and the path's clear and we know what to do and it's sunshine and rainbows. I want to dive into this today. So if you are here, a huge, warm welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in. And I want to share with you in this episode what I have found personally to be the most powerful way to navigate these tests. So what do we anchor into when it feels like we are losing our footing, when it feels like things are being stripped away? So before we dive in, be sure to hit the like, follow, subscribe button on whatever platform that you are listening to this on. All right. So I don't know about you, but I have had my fair share of tests and trials and challenges over these past 5 years. I like to call them initiations because it really feels like that is what they are. Those seasons of really feeling stretched and squeezed and stripped bare. Like there have been times over recent years, even over recent months, I even want to say recent days, where it almost felt like I'm walking naked, right? There has been that much stripping back in different areas when it feels like things are stripping away, when it feels like we've got more tests to move through. And what I've come to know is that these tests are inevitable. They're a necessity on our path of soul evolution, right? And the other important thing that I've come to realize is that none of what we're moving through, as much as it feels like it might be here to punish us or to derail us, or as an indicator, and this is a big one, like an indicator that we've gone the wrong way or we've made a wrong move or we're on the right path. None of it is for us. I actually have established a new relationship, a healthier, more loving relationship with these tests and challenges. And now I get excited when either myself or my clients are moving through this, and I want to explain why. Because they're not here to punish us, they are here to prepare us. Right? They are, and I've spoken about this before if you've been listening to this podcast or my YouTube channel, like they are transforming us into becoming the version of us who's ready to live the life that we have chosen, our soul has signed up for, our potential, right? And when we're doing the work, we are going for our highest potential. And we know that the whole manifestation process, the whole bringing our dreams into reality is not about the thing. It's not about what we're wanting. We're not focusing on these ego desires. It's about this journey of our becoming, right? We create, we manifest, we attract in through our resonance, through our frequency. And this comes from our identity, who we are choosing to be. Right. So back to these tests, when we look at the necessity of quantum manifestation, right, we look at what is actually happening. There's this necessity to become a vibratory match. This is science to the manifestation that we want to call in, right? And this is why we go through these upgrades, these identity upgrades. If you're listening to this podcast, you are likely in that season right now. And so, one of the key elements of this process or of this season is the shedding. It's kind of, you can imagine the trees that are stripped in autumn, they're stripped bare. because the old has to go in order for the new to come through, in order for that new growth to come through. So it's this process of shedding what is no longer aligned with us. Whatever is tied up in the old identity, in the old way of being, or in the old stories, has to go, has to be cleared. This is nature manifested, right? We are not separate from that. So there is this feeling, if you look around in your life, there is this feeling of a crumbling. There is this feeling of a stripping bare, but it's necessary. It has to fall away. And I want to just talk a little bit more about this because it's not loss just for the sake of loss. It is, and I've spoken about this before, how the universe is the you inverse, right? It's us inverted. It is us out there. We are co-creating this existence. So nothing is happening to us from an outside force. We're choosing this. We are in partnership, right? Like it or not. This is part of our soul's growth and evolution, and that universe is loving. It's loving. It wants to help you and support you. It wants to give you everything and more. All of the expansion, all of the love, all of the abundance, all of the fulfillment. Like it is here going, this is the buffet of what is available for you. Are you ready to receive it? Maybe you're not. Hang on a minute. We've still got these cracks. We've still got these areas where you are still outsourcing your power. We've still got these areas where you are still don't know how to put those boundaries in place. There's still these areas where you are trying to control outcomes. There's still these areas where you are people pleasing, or where you are self-sacrificing, or where you are not willing to look at your own stuff and integrate the shadow, right? All of these can seem like cracks or holes in our vessel. So if the universe, because it loves us so much and it's got our manifestations right there, is to go, okay, here you go, I'm going to give you this. What's going to happen if we still have those limitations in our being, in our vessel, if we've still got those cracks and those holes? We're not going to be able to hold it. We're not going to be able to sustain it because we're still going to adopt these old patterns that our soul needs to grow out of, that we have chosen to be initiated in. Right, I'm coming into this lifetime and I am no longer going to outsource my power. I'm no longer going to outsource my guidance. I'm no longer going to play small in the way that maybe I have previously, whether that's in this lifetime or other lifetimes or concurrent lifetimes, right? Take your pick. But for whatever reason, and we don't even need to know, we just know that there is that tendency and there is that limitation. So what's happening then in this up level, once we start to go and you work with a coach like me, or you start to do your own practice to go, you know what, there's something more here. I'm ready to call in this bigger dream. I would really love to be earning X. I would love to call in this beautiful aligned soulmate relationship. I am ready to blah, 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 travel the world, whatever it is. The universe goes, I need to make sure. I need to make sure that you are ready because I love you so much. And if you're not ready, you won't be able to hold this. It's just going to seep right through the cracks, the holes. So the universe is therefore preparing our vessel, preparing us to receive what we have been calling in. And we get really impatient in this void. We get like, I just want to see, why isn't I'm doing all the things and my manifestation hasn't arrived? Okay, there's still a little puzzle piece. There's still a little place here, right? We work with a coach, we work with a mentor that can help us point out. We need to be able to see what our blind spots are. There's one of my gifts as a projector in human design. If you're a projector out there, like we have that ability to see what others aren't necessarily able to see. But regardless of where you're at in your human design chart, like we all have that tendency to not be able to see or not be willing to see what is lurking there in the shadows, in the darkness. I spoke about this on the podcast episode a couple back. So go and have a listen to that if you haven't. But this is, we have to become that frequency match to hold our next level self, our next level life, our soul aligned reality. And it is likely if you are experiencing this pause and this preparation, it is because what you are calling in is big, is because you've been doing the work not to play small in terms of what you are dreaming up. Because we, all of us here have been able to manifest the little things. You know that you can do that, right? Whatever those little things, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a house, maybe it's a car. Like we have that ability, and like you've likely seen that. And I have a lot of people that will come to me and go, this one feels really big. This one feels next level. It's like, okay, you're playing in the next level of the game now, right? You might be playing in, it can feel like you're playing in that lower level of a game, but remember, it is the next level. There's new tests and challenges, one that you haven't gone through before. New initiations, like a video game, there's new initiations. What you used before doesn't work here because you're being invited to really, really up level. Okay, so every challenge that you've met, every test that you face, every storm is part of this beautiful preparation that is necessary. And I remember that I used to think that it was more of a test for the sake of a test, like life just being unkind. Why is all of this happening? And again, that's quite victim consciousness. We take our power back when we realize that the creator, life, God, the universe is the all loving source, wants us to have what it is that we truly desire, what it is that we've chosen here in this lifetime. And therefore, everything here is for us. Everything here that's showing up, even the tests and the challenges, they are for you. And you're going to look back and be so grateful. Remember those times where you look back and go, that job that I lost, or the thing that I got fired from, or that illness that I had, when I was in it, when I experienced it, it was really shit. Right? It felt like my world was crumbling apart. And when I look back now, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. That relationship breakdown, best thing that ever happened to me. Being fired, best thing that ever happened to me. Business collapse, best thing that ever happened to me. Okay? Because all of that that is happening for you is cleaning, it's clearing, it's polishing, it's expanding the vessel that is you, your divine soul self. So that when the new arrives, and it is coming, it is here, right? You are ready to open your heart and open your arms and receive it fully, and it's not going to go anywhere. This is lasting transformation. I was reflecting with my husband recently about the season that we were in. You know, we talk about being in these different seasons. And we were maybe in that for, when I look back, like 6 or 7 years. Oh my God, 6, 7. We were in it for 6 or 7 years. Sorry, if you know, you know. If you have children at this age, you know about 6, 7. Apologies if you don't. You don't really need to know about it. It's a ridiculous thing. But anyway, I want to say it was about 2014, 2015 to 2020. So, you know, and we often move in these 7 year cycles. So, I think it was, you know, I was around the age of 33 to 40. I'm 44 now. So over this time, we were experiencing this real harvest period, a lot of growth in our business, a lot of creation every year. There was a lot of output, but there was also a lot of input as well, right? There was a lot of abundance flowing in. There was a lot that was happening. Like it was a really busy season. And whilst I can look back and see that there were times where I was complaining about that, because it was like, when are we going to get a break? There was a part of my personality that was addicted to that as well, right? The achiever, the doing. We derive a sense of worth and purpose from that. And that was certainly me. And then 2020 hit. And for many people, they felt like, you know, probably everybody really felt like the world inverted, or maybe we just became aware of a world that was already inverted and needed desperately for souls to come into alignment, to return to their truth, to like remember who you are. I mean, that's what happens when we are tested, when things are stripping away the amount of people that did the inner work, that looked at life differently, that woke up. So we were collectively tested in a whole new way. Life was asking us to look at, like, who am I? Who am I when things are taken away? Where do you stand and how do you stand when it feels like you've lost your footing? What comes out of you when you feel like you're being squeezed? And that might sound a little gross, but like metaphorically, is it faith or is it fear? And we saw a lot of that. We really got to know ourselves and we got to learn about how we deal with these tests and these challenges and really with the uncertainty, with the gross unknown that was ahead of us that we'd never experienced before. And for us, after coming out of that season of growth and of harvest, more recently, since selling our business a couple of years ago, the journey has been one of deep internal recalibration and healing and reclamation. And part of that has been a real stripping back and stripping away of the old identity that maybe had bought into, and this is just for me personally, but I'm sure you can resonate with this in your own life because we are all connected. We all go through similar journeys here as souls, particularly if we're incarnated at this time. So we went through a process of really having to let go of the old ways that I had even done business, the ways that I had a relationship with business and with output and with creativity and all of that, right? And as we realigned onto a higher timeline, because I'm someone who is always dreaming bigger and who is knowing that we're on this journey to grow and expand, and we have to continue to say yes to that expansion because that's soul's way. And so, in anchoring in this new timeline and really birthing through this new way of operating in this world, and if you are, if you're a leader in this world, if you feel that if you are here to call in a new way to be of service, a new way to do business, a new way to operate, and that is one that is led by frequency, not effort. And a part of that was my soul telling me, you have to strip away the whole way that you have been operating in business, right? Like in terms of doing it for any kind of validation or approval, or coming from any kind of lack or limitation, or doing the effort because you believe that that's what you need to do in order to receive, in order to be worthy, right? And it was like, my soul was like, no more. That was the old way. That was the old paradigm. But since 2020, there's not three twenties, is there? Since 2020, we have been introduced into this new way, and this is continuing on. And I'm sure you feel this yourself, right? This requirement, this call to evolve your identity to become the highest version of yourself, not from ego, not from ego desires, not from external validation, not because you're trying to prove your worth, but from deep soul alignment, that part of you that just goes, I know that I am here for more. I know that there is something calling me forward, and I'm not meant to know the details of that right now. So I'm going to be led by this feeling. I'm going to invest in my frequency. I'm going to get to know who I am beneath all of these masks, beneath the layers, beneath the resistance. And perhaps you're feeling this at the moment or have been in the challenges in relationships, right? Whether that's romantic partnership, whether that's with your husband or your spouse or your wife, or in friendships, whether you've experienced this in challenges in your financial situation or challenges in your soul purpose, maybe wondering like, is this all there is? Or is there something more? Maybe you're feeling misaligned with the work that you've been doing, or with how you're living your life, or how you're raising your family, or how you're showing up. because many are making the choice to not only search for deeper meaning and search for new levels of connection, but also in giving themselves the opportunity to have it all. Because everything is, all of it is energy. It's simply a reflection. This idea of having it all is simply a reflection of knowing that you are it all, that you are whole, that you are complete. So bringing it back to these tests then, when we decide, okay, I'm available for more and I'm going after this and I'm going to choose this, and we start to get clear on our intention and on our manifestation, guess what? Universe is going to go, okay, let's do this. Now, are you ready to release this? Are you ready to stand in your truth? Let's see. Are you ready to honor your heart, even if it means you're going to lose someone who's close to you, who might not be able to meet you in that level of truth that you're occupying? Even if it means sharing your voice in a setting that hasn't had space and room for you previously. Maybe this is in family dynamics that haven't been able to hold space for you previously to be in your truth and to share your voice. Maybe it means standing out in your visibility and sharing your message courageously, even if it means your voice shakes, your knees shake, you're completely in doubt and the questioning, wondering, who am I to do this? Thinking that you have imposter syndrome, but really realizing that you're just evolving beyond this old version of you that believed in lack and limitation, that believed that they weren't good enough. So, how do we navigate this? Because I know that many are feeling the tests and the challenges, and that's okay. And I wrote an article about this in my Substack, and I'll pop the link in the bio if you want to follow me on Substack, about, the energetic and the metaphoric death that we go through. And I heard, and I can't remember who it was that spoke to this or quoted this, like, we have to learn in life to die well. We have to learn to die well. And I'm not talking about the literal death at the end of the life that is inevitable. I'm talking about the death of the old, the death of the ego that so desperately wants to control, that so wants to grip on, that so wants to steer the ship. And if we can die well, it means that we can rebirth well. Because obviously, with the death, with the shedding, with the release, there is always going to be the new growth, the new season of harvest. And I know that, coming back to that season we're in with the business with my husband and I, like, I know that we are now preparing for that new season of harvest. And it's really beautiful when you can take a step back from your life, when you can take more of an expanded perspective, because we tend to get so bogged in. But when you can kind of do a bird's eye view of your life, and you can see the patterns and you can see the seasons and you can see the perfection in all of it, even the things that feel devastating, even the challenges, even the health diagnosis, even the relationship breakdowns. I have experienced this, as I shared in my Substack article. Like, I've experienced this a lot this this year, over the past couple of years, certainly since 2020. The amount of friendships that I have lost, the amount of women that weren't willing or able to meet me on this new level. And I'm not talking about a hierarchical level, I'm talking about the growth in my own becoming. And maybe that's happened for you. And what I want you to know with that is that this is part of it. This is the inevitability of it. The death is the known quantity here. We have to be willing to let these things go, because otherwise, if we don't, we're choosing to stay on that old timeline for the sake of other people, because our patterns served them. They were only comfortable with that version of you that did self-sacrifice, that did put themselves last, that did people please, that weren't able to be in their truth, right? So to the human self, we can feel that grief, we can feel that loss, and that's okay. That is part of it. We need to honor that. But what's on the other side of this is true alignment, true abundance with that which is for you, or of that which is for you, in the friendships, in the opportunities, in the financial abundance, in the soul purpose, in the loving soulmate relationship. Like that is all here for you. And in the meantime, if it feels like you're being tested along the way, here's something I want to offer you when it feels like that. Come home to you and to your truth. And this is why I believe we can really experience this lapse or this void or this time delay in our manifestations, is because we teeter back and forth. Like, oh, I don't know if I really want to let that go, because what's that going to mean? I had 10 friends and now I have two, or like as an example. So there's a part of us that wants to pull us back into what was familiar and just say, oh, maybe I'll just stay here a little longer. When you are moving through this time where it feels like loss, where it feels like challenge, where it feels like test, where it feels like letting go, one of the highest acts for you is to anchor, is to come home to yourself and anchor into your alignment with your soul, or your alignment with the creator, your alignment with your highest self. It's all connected. It doesn't matter how you refer to it, but it is that part of you that's eternal. It's that part of you that's leading. Become one with that. Let the creator, let your highest self become your best friend. And honestly, I don't know how I would be able to navigate these times of loss and challenge without knowing that I have that, knowing that that is the most important relationship of all, because it's with your truth. It's not with the parts of you that you try to avoid. It's not with the parts of you that are trying to control or trying to protect. It's with the absolute truth and essence of you. It's the part of your soul that is guiding you, not just the part that's here incarnated in this physical body, but the part that's bigger and beyond, the part that has the plan, the part of you, that expansive awareness that knows where you're going, that knows that all of this is divine perfection and divine unfolding. And so to become one with that part of you through soul alignment, through soul embodiment, not just in a fleeting moment, but as a practice every day. I put up on my Instagram story a picture of me about to do my run this morning in the national park here in Noosa. And I said, and I really felt this as I was about to start, I took a photo and it said, I'm going into my church, because that is a place for me. Nature is a place where I connect with the creator, where I connect with my gods, where with my gods, well, with my gods and with my guides, and where I feel this incredible deep connection with past loved ones, with the angels, where I receive the most clarity. And as I move through that, I remember my connection. I remember this connection. I remember that everything that is here is for me, everything that I'm moving through, even the loss and the challenge and the heartbreak and all of that. That's my church. It's interesting. My husband pointed out that if you zoom in to the picture, the sign that said, you know, this is your Tanglewood track, and it said via Hell's Gate, which is really funny. You know, if you live here, it's actually a beautiful part of the national park, but it just looked funny because I did say I'm going to church via Hell's Gate. But honestly, find your place that connects you, whether that's moving your body, whether that's dancing, whether that's going for a walk along the beach, whether that's immersing yourself in nature. Like, there, find your church. Maybe that's the altar in your bedroom or on your balcony or wherever it is. Find your place that connects you. Maybe it's in meditation, maybe it's in prayer in the shower, maybe it's in a salt bath. What connects you most to that part of you? And the more that you do this, it's like a practice. The easier it is, the quicker that you can come into that beautiful alignment with that essence of you. And it's that part of you that reminds you when you listen, when you quieten down enough to listen. It reminds you of why you're here. It reminds you that this loss is not to punish, but it's to prepare you. And when you can really understand this, you realize, wow, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. And that maybe this loss, maybe this challenge is the quantum leap. And that's what I've been tuning into lately and supporting my clients through and witnessing people through. And it's just so beautiful and so powerful. And right now we're in this energy in the Scorpio season, and we have a new moon at the end of this week. And it's very much a attunement with this. With the release and with the loss, it's a watery time. So if you need to cry the tears, grieve the loss, meet yourself within whatever season of life that you are in, knowing that it is temporary. So can I celebrate it? Because it's all part of the great unfolding. We are actually having a live transmission and activation in my membership, Solar and Magnetic, at the end of this week. Or if you're listening to this post the end of this week, you get it as the replay. And honestly, these transmissions are alive. They're so powerful. We open up a channel, not just for me to receive the clarity from my guides and my soul, but for you also, because you are the channel. You are here to be in conversation and dialogue with the divine in a whole new way. And so I celebrate you. I celebrate your challenges. If you want to be part of a community and a sisterhood where we grow and rise together, where we speak to the energy that feels most alive and how we can continue to evolve as souls and manifest a life of true abundance and prosperity and love and fulfillment, because that is available for you. The women who are coming into my community are the ones who are ready to have it all, and they're ready to be guided and aligned with the highest version of them and to become best friends with their highest self. To me, there is no other way. And it's the way that we are moving into. Manifestation doesn't need to be hard. It doesn't need to take years of hard work and effort, because it is led now by frequency and you are ready for it. You are here for it. And we're going to be diving more into that inside of my community this week. We have 2 live offerings, but if you join the community, you get all of the replays as well. It's really is a no-brainer because it's a 7-day free trial. You can cancel anytime. There's no obligation. So come in. Doing these practices are a huge part of being able to navigate these tests and challenges. Life is going to throw these curveballs, and we need the tools. We need the resources to know how to anchor in, because it's that which collapses the time, which ensures that we're staying in alignment with that highest version of ourselves and we're not dipping back down into old timelines that we're not choosing anymore. The details of that are in the show notes, or if you want to go that step further into really understanding this method of manifestation, which is what we're birthing through now, this way of manifesting I've called soul embodied manifestation, and I am teaching it. I am taking people through this course in January. We start January 21st right now. There is a crazy pre-sale offer for this 8-week live program. It's ridiculous. It's changing each week, though. It is going up each week. So if you want to make the most of it and dive in before this launches next month, the details for that are in the show notes also. Okay, beautiful ones, I appreciate you. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. And I can't wait to connect with you again soon. I have some beautiful guests coming on the podcast, which I'm so excited to share this month. It just keeps getting better and better. I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in.